So, right, so first and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashemi Hoshai, Ba'ashemi Kakodash. We said all on Sapasa and as a great master and ruler teaches our person and truth. And we see salutations so they are coming to the push with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out to the constantly in season on the season, which is Shalom. Once again, going into our video here, and it's basically touching upon some news. Right now, when you read somebody's news, when you read the news right now, you're seeing a lot of these news sites talking about the H5N1, right, which is the bird flu. I think they actually here I'm speaking about the H5N5 as well, right, that's being spread. So as I said here, it's a breaking. Scientists warn H5N1 bird flu is mutating faster than ever. The virus is spreading across the world and mutating into an expanding family of viral strains unlike anything seen before. Right, and for the past few days, there's a lot of since this was posted on the 30th, right, and today is the 2nd, and there's a lot of within those days there's a lot of information coming out about it, how countries are basically setting up precautions, setting up stuff for this particular virus because it's spreading, right. I have some other stuff to read on it here as well. Before I click this article, do I have it here? I believe I had it here saved, right? So it said Japanese mutant H3N2 flu update from bad to worse. Numbers continue. Vertical ascent. Hospitals full. School closures expanding. It say lots of seasonal flu and bird flu, right? So you see the bird flu. You mix it where it has what other flus as well. No, this is all these things are safe here, right? All these things are actually safe here. Was some of the news that was talking about this particular flu that's been spread. They say extremely worrisome. First ever human case of bird flu, the H5N5, has now suddenly died. Right, the patient fell ill and and got hospitalized in early November. Confirmed H5N5 last week. Right, now let me bring a precept here, and then I'll go back to some of the news. This is the book of 2 Ezra chapter 15. And I go read from verse 26, right? Matter of fact, let me read from verse 23. It said the fire. This is the book of 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 23. It said the fire is gone forth from his wrath, and it consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, said the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. And that is where you all are being delivered to. Right? Because these jakes, they continue to sin, continue to live abominable, doing abominable stuff. Like even in the time that we in right now, where on the island here, right, the tensions are high between Venezuela, us, America, Guyana, and many other countries in the midst, right, and anything can happen at the moment. These jakes on the island here, they're still finding time to go on Christmas shop. They're still finding time to go on party, to lime, carnival, they in fets, then that is his spirit they're in, right? And as the scripture said, so many days of Noah, right? So there's how these jakes and them are. They're not paying attention to what it is really taking place. All these evils that growing upon the earth, right? You're hearing about the wars, you're hearing about the famines, the earthquakes. I did a video on that recently, going into how much earthquakes is taking place, the volcanic eruptions, and all these things. And in the midst, these pestilences, these diseases, right, is growing on a grand scale, right? Because this is just the 30th, and I didn't save the next one, but the disease has actually gotten worse, right? and I'll let me see if it would have it here, right? But I will find it nonetheless. So 2nd Ezra 15, I'm going on 27. It says, "For now what the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him." Let's look at the meaning of the word remain, right? Remain meaning, right? That's a quick Google search. It says continue to exist, especially after other similar people or things have ceased to do so. It says be left over or outstanding after others or others have been completed, right? Right, so it's continuing. It says to stay, right? So to remain means to what? To stay, right? To stay. It say what is the meaning of the word remain? It say to stay in the same place. To remain is to stay in the same place or situation. So when you're reading the 2nd Ezra 15 verse 27, it say, "For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and they shall remain in them," right? They shall remain. So there's no coming out, right? There's no coming out. That's the situations that are going to come upon this place, right? It's only going to get worse and worse, right? The scriptures talk about for all these things what must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So it's going to get worse, right? We've seen where like when you read some of these the articles here, let me see if this one have it. It say a mutating threat. Scientists warn H5N1 bird flu is evolving faster than ever. Right? They say the dangerous H5N1 bird flu virus has entered what scientists describe as a new unpredictable stage, spreading across the world and mutating into an expanding family of viral strains unlike anything seen before. Right? And I believe there was a I don't have it saved, but I remember seeing one of these pages, one of these news pages put up that if the H5N1, which is the bird flu, if it ever mutate, it would get worse. That it would go beyond what 2020 was, right? And you know what happened in that time, right? It will get worse than that. And now we're hearing about the viral strains that actually it mutated, right? So it's a new and this ad. Remember, there's a lot of stuff that these guys in the WHO, the WHO, right, that they said that that the C19 was just the beginning. There are worse things to come, right? There's another one to come that is going to be worse, right? And there's something there was always saying to take place, right? And we know the scriptures talk about this. We know the evil that Esau do, because the scripture said what it is in the power of the hand to do these things, right? It's a new global analysis uploaded to BioRxiv, a preprint server for biology by influenza experts on November 24th, working with the World Health Organization, the World Organization for Animal Health, and the UN's food, right? The UN's food, because that's one of the things I was mentioning as well. That the food, right? That the food, there's a lot of animals that had to be culled, right? Let's see. So when you look at it, so when I say culled, when you look at the meaning, the word culled, it says to be slaughtered, right? So a lot of these animals is being culled worldwide because of what the virus that is being spread. So the fact where say it hampering a lot of farms, right? A lot of farms is being they got to get rid of the animals, plenty turkeys, chickens, cows, a lot of animals is being culled right now because of what it is being of this particular disease being spread. There's a lot of farms being closed on of it, so there's what they would call a shortage of food, and this is happening like what worldwide. You hear when you read some of the news, it's talking about Japan, China, where it was predominantly, but then now you're hearing it's spread into America. They had their first case, the person died, right? You hear about in Europe, and these are the places that it's spreading to, and it's spreading fast, right? They say they say mutating and so on, the same way like how C19 was being talked about, right? Right, and again it's being spread to high levels, right? The food. I was trying to see if I get another piece of this article here. Trying to see if I get. Right, so continuing. Let's say continuing here. Let's say UN's Food and Agriculture Organization wants the virus rapid evolution combined with a growing ability to infect mammals is creating conditions that could dramatically increase future risk to humans, right? And this is we actually read about the case just now about where the human died, the guy died, right? This is not a familiar H5N1 of the mid 2000s, according to the report by the H5 Evolution Working Group, which analyzed more than 18,000 virus samples collected worldwide between 2015 and 2024. The virus has become far more diverse, widespread, and unpredictable. It is now present on 6 continents, including in regions where bird flu had never been seen before, such as Antarctica, right, where the bird flu has what never been seen before. So now the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Right? So it goes to show the kind of hurt, the kind of pain that's going to come on this place. Right? I'm going to a scripture here. You see book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Right? And that's the time we're living in. The days are truly evil. When you read, when you read the news, there's so much things happening that sometimes they can't even keep up, right? Whereas you might be watching things with war, there are earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, countries, people that are run out of their homes. There's a lot of ravishing taking place worldwide. There's a lot of famines. Again, with this particular disease being spread, animals being destroyed. You're seeing where the culling animals from farms. You're seeing where what a shortage of food, right? And then telling you that when you're reading these articles and so forth, right? You're seeing Esau coming on to us, because why? He had but a short time, and he would use all these things to his advantage to push his agenda, right? So you don't want to be like these people outside there thinking that nothing is going to happen, right? Because you're going to be caught just like them, right? The scriptures talk about they shall die in their what? In their unbelief, right? And you don't want to be like that, because the Lord tells us about these things that are going to come upon this place. 2nd Ezra chapter 8 verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Yes, so for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Many great miseries, right? Scripture says about the terrors, the things that will come upon you all, right? And we've seen that, right? So then let's come back out here. Right, I think I got it right. So this is some of the stuff I say. It's the H5N1 bird flu is already the biggest animal health disaster since the extinction level event of the dinosaur. But he's always adding the stuff there, right? It said bird flu just erased nearly half of the breeding females in the world's largest elephant seal population in South Georgia. Right, more than 50,000 animals gone in a single season. Right, so it gives an aspect of how destructive this thing is. It's a H5N1 is burning through mammal nurseries at the top of the food chain, right? And we've seen right. So that is to show you the kind of things that's being spread right now. Right, they say it says the H5N1 just level up. Scientists just pulled a viable H5N1 2.3.44b out of soft body ticks. All right, nice. So this was one of the ones I gotta get finding back here. They're saying that they're spreading from ticks, you know. And if you know anything about spreading from ticks, you know easy it is for the disease spread through that. They say up to 99.98.9% identity, not passive contamination, a potential new vector. Influenza surveillance just a lot more complicated, right? So it's spreading through ticks. Yeah, we know. So when it comes to these diseases and things, they do these things, right? They do these things, right? Should say it's spreading through ticks, so it's spreading what quicker. This person say what? This person say here what? No sweat. Let me see if I find it here. Lock everyone down, right? And that is what they're aiming to do again, right? That was something that this guy is Klaus Schwab and those other guys that mentioned it. It have a video about it. That the lockdown they want to do, it will be worse than what it was before, right? And again, as I said before, the scripture said for because it empowered their hands to do these things. The scriptures mentioned in the book of Job that the earth is given into the hands of who? The wicked, right? Right. Second Ezra chapter 14, and let me read verse 16. It say, "For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein." And the evils is what? As the scripture say, for the evils shall evils increase. You know, it didn't say decrease. Like how plenty of these jakes love to believe that it go and get better. The scripture talk about the proverb they use, right? You will make that proverb to cease. Right? You make that proverb to cease. Right? So the evils is what? They say for yet greater evils. Greater. Right? So it's going to get what? Worse than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be wicked through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So evil shall increase upon them that dwell therein. It didn't say things going to get better. It said the evil is going to increase. You saw something taken. You saw the diseases taking out what? Mammals, taking out birds. Now it being spread through what? Ticks, right? Spread through ticks. So where it could spread what? Quicker, faster, right? It's a right, so this is the one I saved there. Let's see if I got another one here. It's a University of Cambridge bird flu viruses are resistant to fever, making them a major threat to humans. So you see what they're aiming for. It's a bird flu viruses are resistant to fever, making them a major threat to humans, and they put the chickens, right? So you're seeing what it is. You already know where it's going, right? It's a vampire bats with H5N1 iron nightmare connector, a blood-feeding mammal that shuttles bird flu between sea mammals, livestock, and humans, a mobile mammalian reservoir training H5N1 for whatever comes next. you see, when you read these things, you already know what it is Esau planning to do, right? Then you want Esau to get advantage over here, right? It's a vampire bat may have contracted H5N1 bird flu in Peru, raising worries about further spread, right? And it's Peru. We know read about Japan, China, America. When I was reading the first article, it says 6 continents, right? Europe. Now we read in Peru, right? There was something in Australia. I know there's a lot of it's being spread right now, right? It's being spread. Yo, and this is the spread, right? Because doing this video, and I'm mentioning the tensions that happen in between Venezuela, America, and us, and so on, right? You know, the helicopter again. We need helicopter for some for a few, maybe 2 to 3 days. And today, now it's flying in the sky, which is the American arm. They had the big helicopters, the ones with the missiles and things on the side. They have it, circulating, right? Right. So yeah, so this reading is seeing how much you're seeing how much places South Africa in the mix here as well too, right? So you already seen the plans Esau have to do, and they're talking about what they was always mentioning a greater lockdown, right? A more efficient way to do things, and that is the devil fear, right? So again, things are not going to get better; it's going to get worse. So with that, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yoshai, Ba'Shem Rakadash. We said about Saposan, Elos, a great Muslim, and who teaches our person in truth, and we see salutation, so the Akim must push you with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season. We say, Shalom.